in studio are people who create magic with hands. I mean, there is such a legendary story behind just a haircut. Who would have thought just hair would lead to franchising beyond the Southern African region and even ours? So with me in studio, everybody who's watching, help me welcome the one, the only legendary barber curator. How are you doing, Sheldon?
I'm good, and yourself, Wellington. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for coming through. Like I
Yes.
said before we went on, I was like, I'm a huge fan. Even
Yes.
beyond just doing this as a presenter who needs to know, I'm a huge fan. How's Zambia treating you?
No, Zambia is lovely. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the food because the food is quite different from South Africa.
Okay.
So I'm really enjoying the food, and the people are very friendly. So yeah, I mean, like, it feels like my second home.
Okay, you should come through. Like, we
Yes.
need you here. I was thinking to myself when I got the text, like, I shouldn't have gotten my haircut. I should have
Yes.
waited and gotten myself a legendary. But I think
Yes.
you can hook me up with
Yeah,
something.
we can make something.
Sure.
I'm sure we can do
Let's
something.
get into it. So people might be watching and they're hearing the idea of legendary haircut for the first time. What's the legendary story behind, coming up with this entity?
So I think myself, I started out as a barber on the sidewalk in a community called the Untitled Park in Johannesburg, and all I just had was a clipper and a chair, and this is basically how I started Legends, just with the clipper and the chair, and I always wondered what made me different from any other barbers that was in my community, and one thing that I saw was being able to have that personal relationship with that customer. And how I used to build relationships was I used to have a notebook and I used to write the customer's name, like Wellington. I used to write Wellington's name, what he does for a living, the conversation that we had on the chair. And next time you come sit on my chair, then we'll reflect back to that, and that's just how you build that relationship. And I think that was a secret basically to building Legends where it is today.
That's so beautiful. How long ago was this?
This was exactly 11 years ago, yes.
11
yes,
years ago.
Yes.
Would you have thought, like, was this the vision, going continental? Was this the vision, just starting off across the street and writing down customers' name? Was this the vision?
No, it was never the vision. I wouldn't lie to you, stand here and lie to you and say that we wouldn't be thinking of basically venturing into other countries. I think back then you just trying to serve your community to the best of your ability, and from there build one community at a time until you reach your whole location. Looking to expand cross border. So I think it was never the plan initially, but it's God just surprises us sometimes and just open doors for us.
What sparked the idea of, like, okay, let's get another location, or let's get 2 more stores.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
expand.
yes.
What was that defining moment?
I think that defining moment was the time when I left my job in 2014, and I decided that you know what, I won't be able to pay for my salary from one shop. So I wouldn't need multiples of shops in order for me to cater for my salary that I was getting back then. So back then the goal was to have 5 stores in 5 years when we relaunched 2014, and from there it just grew beyond that. And currently we stand in just over 64 stores.
64 stores, and these stores go across your country, South Africa, because I'm seeing you trying
Yes.
to conquer Zambia's business. The barbers here, you're trying to conquer their business. But looking at it from the Instagram of it or the Facebook, it looks very glamorous, it looks very extravagant. People are clapping and cheering and lining up for a legendary haircut. Was it always this rosy? Because I remember just before we went on, you spoke of how there was a shutdown at a point and then you had to open up. What was all of that about?
Yes, I think there was a time when the business was closed, and this was back in 2011, 2012. So during that time, I actually felt that maybe this is not my destiny, and this is not something that God has called me to do. So it was closed, and I continued working in my day job, which was a call center agent. And from there, I decided, you know what, if something is for you, it keeps on coming back, you understand? It's the same like you standing here. It just keeps on coming back that you need to be a presenter. And it's the same thing that happened to me. Customers kept on calling me and asking me for haircuts. And eventually I gave into it, and come 2014 when I relaunched, the barbershop basically on Rado Park as the first store.
Okay, that's super, super cool. Now, Legendary's haircut isn't an ordinary entity. You guys have expanded. You know, you've spoken of the 60 plus stores that are there, but also one very interesting factor that you have is the mobile, you know,
Yes.
barbing of it all.
Yes.
How did that come off?
Yes. So during the time when the shop was closed, I had a scooter, and I used to go to customers in different locations with a scooter. And on my way to this one customer, just at the gate of his complex, I called him. I told him I'm at the gate. He explained to me there's load shedding. So load shedding is when there's power cuts,
Yeah,
basically.
we
Yeah.
hear it here.
Okay,
We
it's
also,
like
we also have a story here, so we have
so,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
so basically what happened, disappointed driving back on my scooter and thinking that I just missed out on a client. On my way back, I actually came up with this idea of old bus, and you jump into the bus, you get your haircut, and that's it. You understand? It's fully generated with batteries or whatever it is that you will be able to service that person wherever they are, and you don't have to go into that person's personal space to cut hair. So that's where the mobile bus idea came out. This was about 2013, and obviously I couldn't afford it at the time, but 5 years later it manifested 2017 September. So yes.
It's a beautiful journey to see how all of this is playing out. And when we look at your Instagram, it's Legend seems like an A-lister's barbershop. You know, you've got the likes of Nasty C, Casper Your Vest, and even Ricky Rick. So I know we woke up some disturbing news just early this year of his passing, and he was a huge part of your business and also a business partner. How is it like working with the legend?
I think Ricky was a very special person. I actually get goosebumps just thinking about the type of relationship that we had. It was one of those relationships where you always thought about he's one of the most selfless persons that I know, and I don't think that you'll ever find that, especially in the music industry. You wouldn't find somebody that's selfless, that's always giving of themselves to the next person, being able to put on so many people along his journey, just being able to see people flourish. And I think that's something that he stood for, is thinking about the next person, thinking about the next generation. What are they going to do, especially when he's not around?
Okay, that's super cool. I love that you're a storyteller, because I don't even want to go into the next question, but we still need to. Now, Legends is expanding, like we have spoken of, and you guys are in the country currently.
Yes.
I want to know, what are you guys doing? What are you guys here for? You know, conquering new land.
Yeah, so I think one thing that we're doing firstly is setting up a school in Zambia. So we're basically setting up a barber school, and this is basically I'll get you the details, but it's somewhere in Lusaka.
Okay.
So the school will be launched sometime before the end of this month. So we're really excited about it. The school is basically just to upskill local barbers and to create employment eventually for those barbers to be able to join Legends and be part of the brand. So I think that's something that's very close to my heart, as well as I shared my story with you previously about how I learned to cut hair, and here's a school that just provides free training for guys to actually come in and basically get the skill, and that skill they'll have for the rest of their lives. So I think that's the number one thing. Number two is we will be having a pop-up. So this whole weekend we're having pop-up at different malls. I think it's East Park.
Yes, we have
and
Windsor as well.
Windsor as well.
Yes.
And Granddaddy's, there's a pop-up as well. Yeah. And also we will also be doing some charity work on Sunday, where we're going out to like children's home to basically give them free haircuts, and that's basically what Legends is all about. It's all about making a difference. It's all
So
about
true. We see that in how you conduct business, but I want to know what goes into the idea of coming to a country or coming to a new location. Like, how is all of that? How's the planning phase behind franchising and growing a business? Because, you know, it's you guys in SA and us here in Zambia.
Yes.
How do you oversee and have quality control over all of that?
Yes. I think the number one thing that we look out for is good people to partner up with. I think that for us is number one, and people that is really passionate about the business, that knows the business very well and knows the values that we stand for. So I think that's something that we really look out for. And once we partner with that person will ultimately become the franchisee of basically the country, or even the shops as well. They will be the franchisee and they will be running a shop. So it's basically somebody from the community that will be taking on an extra job and basically be a full-time franchisee.
So it's not people you're bringing to a country, it's you
No.
helping
Yes.
the existing
Yes.
talent that's in the
Yes.
country. Super, super cool. We spoke of how you decided to create an opportunity because there wasn't any training, formal training, to create and build beautiful masterpieces because you guys do art.
Yes,
You don't do a
yes.
legendary haircut. Implicit. Can I have a camera? Please give me a camera. It's not a haircut if it ain't legendary. You understand? Like it's not just anything.
Yes.
So at the end, I want to ask, what makes a good haircut? And I hope my
Yes.
haircut is good.
Yes.
I do. Yes. What do I need to do? Do I have to get a cap? Am I looking okay though?
You're looking okay. You're looking okay. You're looking okay.
But I can do
But
better.
you need a Legends touch.
I need a Legends touch. But do you got me with the Legends touch?
Yes. Yes.
Before we
yes.
go, 11 years is a beautiful time to be in an industry that you're basically building yourself. While reading up on you, I saw you were declared South Africa's best barber by African Union of Hair, which I was shocked that there's actually an African Union of Hair, which is super cool. But what's been your highlight through all of this? What's a few moments, let's say top 3 moments that you've really, really enjoyed walking through this journey?
So I think a couple of highlights that has brought me basically to this point. I think number one thing is being able to set up schools in different areas in order to transfer skills over to the next person. I think that has really been our highlights. Currently, we're standing on about 19 schools across the SADC region, which we're really proud of. And basically, these schools are free of charge for anyone to join. It doesn't matter if you're not a barber, you can still join and still learn how to cut hair. So I think that's one of our highlights. Also being able to surpass the goal that I initially set for myself, because I told you that my initial goal was to open 5 stores in 5 years. And to God had surprised me. I mean, like being able to stand out on 60 odd stores, it's really something that they can be wowed about, you understand? I think that's really a good achievement. And also, number 3 is basically to be impactful in the different communities where we are. I think for each and every store, to be in a community, your obligation is to make sure that you make a difference in the community. And how you make a difference is that you go out to children's home, you go out to schools, you understand? You go give free haircuts to basically the disadvantaged and empower those in need. So I think those are definitely 3 of my major highlights in Legends.
Super cool. Super, super cool.